And I understand we're talking about milk this morning. Got milk set? That's how the ad went back in the day. It was very simple. Got milk. And it turned into a whole talk. So what is it about milk that we need to know about?
Good morning, and good morning to all of our viewers. Well, I saw an article written by a local doctor here with regards to such. So I'll share my screen and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right, so this came out of The Guardian. It says the milk industry. This was 7 days ago. All right, so I actually saw it just after my segment, which was last week we didn't have a segment, but I saw it yesterday. So last week Tuesday. So like, you know what, this would make a good segment. So it's referring that one of our first pediatricians, Dr. Bruce Simons, coined the term milkaholics, and it has to do in reference to babies that they were seeing at the San Fernando General Hospital in the 70s, and he said they were fat, they were anemic and sluggish. All right, and with proud parents, he said, who confuse fatness with wellness and milk with healthy food.
Okay.
Now, it goes on to explain certain things that, you know, humans, and I do this on my consultations, and I always tell people on my consultations, especially dealing with people that are diabetic and showing them with regards to sugars, that we consume milk in our adult life after the weaning stage, and we are the only mammals that do so.
Right.
Other mammals, they all discontinue feeding their young milk because when the mammal reaches a stage where they can consume solid food, they switch off of milk, because you need milk in the early stage, right, in the early stage of life, to help the body to develop, so that the body can now produce certain things on its own. When that stage has arrived, you then wean the child off of the milk and have them consume solid food.
Right.
But we tend to go towards the line of then going and take milk from another creature. Now, from a logical standpoint, that does not make sense.
No.
But as we have seen, humans today are in the habit of doing things that are not logical. And we don't tend to put any logic to it, and we continue to do it.
Such a big laugh, yes, but go ahead.
It's true. In fact, look what it says here. Look what it says. Let me highlight this passage here. It says milk damages the intestines in babies and adults and causes bleeding. The blood loss causes iron deficiency, anemia, which among other things causes tiredness, weakness, depression, hemorrhagia, and headaches.
Okay, when he says milk causes that, in babies, because he says babies there, right?
Yes.
What type of milk we talking about here? We talking about breast milk, or we talking about?
So cow's milk or milk from other animals, so more so in the line of dairy milk.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with breast milk.
No, so this is not dealing with breast milk. In fact, of course, a baby needs to consume breast milk.
Right.
I did a segment when it was last year or year before, showing the recommendations for a child's diet. From that came out of the guidelines for feeding Americans. The 2020 to 2025 guidelines, which is the first time they ever give guidelines on feeding infants. And this was from birth to 24 months old, and the recommendation was exclusively for the first 6 months of life is breast milk.
Okay.
From 6 months onwards is breast milk and red meat.
Right.
Right? So while people might want to argue that that is evidence-based science, so I don't think anybody should argue with that.
No, I don't think so either. But I think we reached that point,
Yeah, but you know, people are against change, but they don't first understand that a change did take place that they weren't against and weren't aware of, that caused them to stray. Because there is no formula in nature, right? There's no formula in nature. Mammals have breast milk.
Yeah.
we now have the concept that we could take another animal milk, augment it, change it up, and then feed it to our young, call it formula, and think that is fine. Right?
Right.
What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get people to be aware and to become a little more conscious of what it is we do to children. Right? What we do to children are not natural. It's unnatural. Right? And it damages them because the proteins and the nutrients from cow's milk is too much for even for a little child's kidneys to handle.
Yeah, because when you say what we do is not natural, I mean if you really look at it, right? I mean, if people really look around, for those who have eyes to see, every animal in the animal kingdom, almost all, feeds off the female, all the pups, all the babies, right?
Yes,
Cubs, whatever.
Mammals, yeah, among mammals.
Among mammals. They feed, you see them feeding, grabbing onto the nipple, feeding off of the, but that's natural nourishment in terms of what the mother is giving them. But you're right, we are the only
only mammals.
Only mammals.
Only mammals that do something that is
that create
crazy.
Something and say, yes, this is for, yeah.
So we would take a child and then place a child on cow's milk. Milk that is designed to take a calf and turn a calf into a heifer, right?
Right.
Such a huge animal, and we are taking that and giving that to a child.
Right.
Right? Their bodies are not designed to handle that level of density of nutrients. So it overworks the kidneys. Right? Their digestive system are not designed to handle the types of sugars in that milk, because it have, apart from it having lactose, which is the one that most people are aware of, breast milk, cow's milk also have oligosaccharides, which is indigestible. Now, getting it from humans, human breast milk, the oligosaccharides are designed to help complement other enzymes and bacteria and stuff that would come in from the mother's milk to help cultivate the gut microbiome.
Right.
But when you get in oligosaccharides from a cow's milk, that is too intense, so you get too much fermentation. It throws off the gut microbiome in the child, and that starts preparing that child for a life of digestive health issues. And you have a ad that's on your program that says, you know, disease starts in the gut.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
And that is one of the areas in which it starts, by us feeding children milk that does not come from that species.
Right.
From the human species. So we start on the wrong foot and we don't question it. And it baffles me that we accept these things without questions. If people take a step back, sit back, and look at everything that they do in their life and ask themselves, why do I do it? Then you're going to realize that there's a lot of stuff that we do that we have no clue as to why we do it.
Marketing, my friend.
Influenced by something.
Marketing.
And that's the thing. The marketing of the dairy industry has been excellent. The thing is, I can't fault them for their marketing skills. It is excellent marketing. Where you could convince people to not consume what they are biologically designed to consume, and to consume that of some other creature. Right?
Yeah.
And it damages us. So on my consultations, these are the things that I correct, you know.
Okay.
I correct. It's interesting. For example, let's take this for instance. Can you find
we have a minute
bread
we have a
in
minute
nature?
left. We have a minute left. But go ahead, quickly.
Can you find bread in nature?
No.
Can you find bread in nature?
No.
Bread?
No.
No, but everybody needs to have a loaf of bread in the home.
It's standard.
Does that make
bread,
sense?
flour in everything, you know, man.
In everything, but does that make sense? You cannot even find it in nature.
Yeah.
But we are consuming these things, bread and cereals and stuff, as a staple, as this is your breakfast, right? And we don't question it. We just accept these things.
Marketing again.
Wondering, why are we sick?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Why
yeah.
are we sick? It is right in front of our faces,
It's
but
true.
we aren't seeing it. And that's what I do on my consultations. I open people's eyes to reality. I show them the truth. That's
Yeah.
all I do. I just deliver truth.
And as we wrap up this morning, Seth, let me tell you something. You just mentioned something there. You know, everything you just said there, some of the things that you said was spoken of in this program this morning. Like, even from a political standpoint, one of the callers said it's about marketing. I and all said it's about optics. Elections are not decided based on facts or information or policy. It's optics. It's what look good, what sound good. It's the hype. This is what people buy into. And I even went back, I think in the first hour, when I was talking about people not paying attention to things and lack of knowledge. Somebody mentioned a lack of knowledge. And I said, you know, it's interesting because during COVID, because you had one specific thing to focus on, that is where everybody started to say, but wait now. This don't make sense. Because it was in their face every day, and they started to realize that the advice they were getting simply made no sense. And some people...
But for some people, keep in mind, over 90% still took the jab, eh?
Yeah, correct.
So it makes sense when they start to get the negative effects of it.
And wore a mask, and socially distanced, and believed everything that they told them. But there are some people, and I guess that to me gives us an example of how many people are programmed versus how many people do critically think, or the percentage of critical thinkers that exist amongst the programmed. Because it is the critical thinkers that really rock back and say, and it's the same thing with nutrition.
Correct. And people are critically thinking about me. They're skeptical about me and what I do. Even though I present the truth, I will present truth, evidence, backed by the highest degree of science. Cannot be challenged because we're waiting for a doctor or somebody in the medical field to challenge me. For 4 years now, Stefan. 4 years now, nobody could challenge me. Right. But yet, I will show all that evidence and they'll say, I'm a doctor, say that's not true. What did he provide? Did he show any evidence to show it not true? No.
Yeah, just because it came from a doctor.
Told them it isn't true.
Yeah.
Just because he's a doctor. Right?
Hey.
It means it doesn't matter what evidence. A doctor trumps all science apparently.
Yeah.
Right?
But Seth, we gotta wrap up. We gotta wrap up. But thanks a lot for joining us this morning and interesting discussion on milkman. All right, thanks man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I got 8 birthdays and stuff to get to. So as we bid Seth farewell, we want to thank him. Of course, you could call him, book an appointment for a consultation. 761-1952. That is 761-1952 or 279-3935.